final communication with the air traffic controller, where the pilot confirms that this was about 4:56 p.m., confirms that they're en route to JKA, and then any further communication from the air traffic controller, there was no response.
According to the report, the aircraft is said to have lost radar contact with the tower at 5:02 p.m. while traveling at 289 km per hour at 11,200 feet and failed to clear a ridge, smashing into the mountainside while flying level.
Now, let's go back and look at why did this happen. The whole point of the report that is usually done by the State Department of Transportation is always to figure out why the accident happened and to improve other operations of pilots, operations of airlines, procedures, so on and so forth. So, the first point on this report was about flight planning. Initially, I questioned whether the pilot had flown directly from Kitale to JKA before and passed through the Badair's range. And that's not indicated in the report, but some of the deduction is that this was a new territory or a new flight area for the pilots. So they didn't have prior information they could rely upon on how to navigate that particular area. So that was accounted to poor flight planning. But then those other that I found interesting, the instruments that were there in the aircraft were recovered. The aircraft did not have a flight data recorder because for that category of aircraft, KCA did not require them to have a flight data recorder. Also, there was no flight voice recorder in this particular aircraft, so couldn't tell what they were saying, and a lot of the instruments, there was nothing collecting all the data and the inputs the pilots were putting in on the aircraft in this thing. Now, there was one navigational equipment that is able to tell whether you're about to hit an obstacle in the aircraft, and so there are two parts to this. So one is called GPWS, which is Ground Proximity Warning System. It tells you when you're about to hit an object or any traffic you're likely to hit. The other one tells you if you're likely to meet the ground level. So this is called TAWS, which is a Terrain Awareness and Warning System. So this particular navigational equipment was provided by Sardell. I think the model was ST3400, and once it was recovered, it was taken back to Canada, put in a lab, and were able to repair the broken sections and collect the data that were there. So one of the things that they found out was that the radar altimeter, whatever is telling you how far you are from the ground, was not sending information to the equipment that actually tells you about the warning or sends you warnings on the screen. And ideally, when that happens, there's supposed to be a very big warning on the screen. First one shows an X for the TAWS, and then another one shows a written word there that your GPWS has failed. And according to the report, the pilot should have seen that particular error on the screen or warning that was there in the screen and know that in any case they were going to hit a terrain, they'll not be able to detect that, or the warning won't come through. So putting that data together, they figured out that the warning actually came in 4 seconds before impact. Now, 4 seconds is really small time. Ideally, how the equipment is designed, this is supposed to be 60 seconds projected flight path. So there will be projected flight paths, and within 60 seconds, if the pilot is supposed to hit an obstacle, then that warning goes up and it gives the pilot enough time to climb or evade this particular obstacle.
pull up, pull up.
And that wasn't done in this particular case. The report states that this particular plane hit according to the recorded data that they could get, hit the hill at 155 knots. So it shows that the pilots were at cruising speed, which means they did not try to make any evasive maneuver. They just rammed straight into this. Now, if we put all this together on the report's recommendation about what went wrong, so flight planning was not done correctly. There was incorrect use of equipment. That means that they did not look at the altimeters, if they were working or not, and the warning systems that were there. And also it blames, part of the blames to the air traffic controller. They should have warned the aircraft that they're closer to mountain ranges and they should take a different route for that, or give them a different vector to fly in this case.